Hey there, I'm Matt with GoTo, and I'm going to guide you through building your new Skye Desk. So let's get started. First things first, let's prepare your space to work. Make sure that you got plenty of room to work, ideally in the room where you're going to place your furniture. That way you don't have to move it very far once you're finished. Also, if you don't have carpet in that space, make sure you're working on a soft surface like I have here, such as a towel, or you can use the cardboard from your packaging. We're going to start opening boxes here soon. You're going to have 2 boxes for your Skye Desk. One's going to be for the work surface and the other one's going to be for the base. Now that you've got everything unpackaged, you're going to find 2 sets of instructions with your unit. First is the user manual. This is for the base itself, and it's going to have a lot of instructions in there on how your base functions up and down, reset, as well as some other safety features. Also, there's an assembly tool attached to that. We're going to use that later to assemble the base. The other set of instructions is for the assembly, including the top. This is going to be a little bit more detailed and hopefully a lot easier to follow. This is what we're going to base our video on today. Now let's talk tools. For this build, you're going to need a number 2 Phillips screwdriver, either a powered screwdriver or a hand screwdriver. Either will work fine, but the powered screwdriver is going to get you through it a lot quicker. You're also going to need the 6mm Allen key that comes with the table base. You're going to need an adjustable wrench, or if you have it, a 13mm will do the job. In addition to that, you're going to need a level and a tape measure. Let's get going. All right, now we have all the components for the base all set out. We got the 2 main leg assemblies, the 2 feet. We've got 4 of the support rails, 2 of the cross supports, all of our hardware here. So the hardware, just a couple distinctions to make. Take the 2 longest screws and set them aside. They're to use with mounting the controller. And then of the 2 screws that you have left here, you're gonna have 1 screw that's really has a small head and a small shaft to it. That's just for mounting the handset. So we're gonna take that aside and set the handset. And then the remainder of your screws will be the screw that we use to mount the base to the work surface. So we have 10 of the step bolts, which are partially threaded, and then 4 of the other bolts, which are fully threaded. So we're going to make sure that we got those separated out as well. As far as other components, we've got the 4 levelers, the control module, the power cord, and the handset. Also, when we start out here, we're going to make sure that we got the work surface with the bottom side up. You'll be able to tell really clearly with all the grooves and the holes in the bottom of that work surface. All right, we're going to mount one of the support rails to the motor assembly. With the support rail, we just need to identify that the top side, which is the flat side, that's going to go on the top of the leg, which has the motor on it. We're going to position that. There's 2 holes on the motor that attaches to. You're going to want to use the step bolts, so the partially threaded bolts there. And as we just start mounting this up, we're only going to put the bolt in the hole that's closest towards the center of the leg assembly. So the center, towards the center has the wire, motor points in, and we're going to snug that by hand. And then we're going to use our 6mm Allen key and tighten that snug. Not real tight yet, but just snug. I'm going to flip that over carefully. It's a little heavy. Set it down carefully. And then we're going to grab another support rail. Again, identify the top surface. Put it towards the top of the motor. Grab another step bolt, and this one's going to go in towards the inside hole as well. And just snug that up. There we go. Now that we've got those 2 on, we're going to set the leg assembly straight up and down. And we're going to take the cross support piece, and that's going to sandwich the 2 support rails and the end of the motor assembly. We're going to grab another step bolt and line that up. And we're going to just tighten that by hand as well. Same thing for the other side. Line up the holes in the cross support and the support rail into the motor. And snug that by hand. Now we're ready to add on our foot. So we're going to take the foot, and this time we're going to use the fully threaded bolts. We're going to line up the holes on the leg with the foot and tighten them by hand. And these will fully tighten. Okay, now we're ready for levelers. Grab 2 levelers, and we're going to fully thread them into the feet. Okay, now we got those all the way in. Okay, now we're going to repeat the same process for the other leg so that we have 2 full leg assemblies. Now that we have the 2 leg assemblies fully built, we're going to attach them together. To do that, position the leg assemblies as shown here. Grab the 2 support rails closest to you, snap them together, and then align the whole assembly to the pre-drilled holes in the work surface. You're going to do that. We're going to align focused on the holes in the support rail. So we're going to line up the 4 holes on each side. And then what that's going to do is it's going to show us a hole aligned in the center, and that's where we're going to place our step bolt. So now with these holes lined up in the support rails, take a 25mm step bolt, place it through, and attach an 8mm nut on the back side. Repeat for the other side. Then use your Allen key and your adjustable wrench to tighten them fully. With our base fully assembled and aligned to the pre-drilled holes that are in the work surface, we're ready to start mounting it. First, let's take the 2 long screws and set them aside so that we don't cause any damage to the work surface, potentially poking through to the top. Then, make sure that your drill is set on a low setting if you're using a drill. That way you don't strip out the hole in the work surface. We've got 4 screws in each of the cross supports. Then there's also 2 screws in each one of the support rails on each side. We're ready now to mount some of the controls. Let's start with the handset. Grab the handset and the 2 smallest screws included in the kit, so they have a smaller diameter shaft and a smaller diameter head. And then choose which side of the work surface that you want to mount your controller to. Just keep in mind that we're upside down right now, so whatever side you pick now is going to be opposite once we flip the table over. Take the controller, line it with the 2 pre-drilled holes at the edge of the table. Start each screw partially. Line the front of the handset to the front edge of the work surface. and carefully tighten the screws the rest of the way. You can take the cord from the handset now and carefully unravel that, and you can feed it through the support rail. And we'll just leave it there for now. Then we're going to take the control module and we're going to start plugging everything in. So your control module here has power, the handset, and the 2 motor connections on it. So one side has the 3 connections, that's where your handset's going to go. So you can face that towards your handset, whichever side that you picked. And it's going to nestle between the support rails. And then we'll connect our handset. And we'll connect both motors. And finally, attach the power cable. Power cable is going to feel like it plugs in about halfway, but I guarantee you it's in as far as it'll go. And we're ready to mount the control module. So take the 2 longest screws, make sure your control module is positioned over the pre-drilled holes, and mount it in place. Now our control module is all taken care of. You can see here I've got my cables all neatly arranged, just using the twist ties that come with the cables themselves. And now we're ready to flip the table over. So grab a friend and safely turn that table over and move it into the desired location in the room that you're in. With your desk in the desired location, go ahead and plug it in and then check for level. Using a level front to back and side to side. Adjust your levelers as needed. And then finally, we're going to run a reset function. What this is going to do is going to sync the 2 legs together to make sure that everything's functioning correctly. So hold your up and down button simultaneously and wait for the table to move to the lowest position. There it goes. Might just be a little click, could move a little bit. Wait till it's all the way done moving to release the buttons. And that's it. Your Skye Desk is ready for use. Please leave a review on our product page at go2wfh.com. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, or Pinterest. And thanks again for choosing GoTo.